Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in. Check out your boy P Funk thinking right out here in the lab, and I'm in the book. I'm about to give you a lesson on listening to the teaching. If you tune in every day, you already know what we're doing. I got you. Let's rock. Right-isms, 25 rules to live by. Storytelling, story with a message. There's always a message in my stories for life. I give life lessons. You tune in and receive them. I appreciate you. We got a good thing going. Let's do what we do. Right thinking mission is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinking's way of life through mental and spiritual discipline. Practice daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of reaching spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission is that all right thinkers know thyself. If you're a right thinker, your goal is to know thyself. See where we're going with this? Let's get there together. So I asked the question. What's the question? Do you know you? You will when I'm through. Yeah, that's what I do for you. It's rhetorical, but if you don't have to answer for yourself, tune in. I got you. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. Don't be them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple, but you can teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. I appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believe and think that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I'm a spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. That's what I do for you. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers know thyself and to Maya be true. All right. You got three major aspects. Right thinkers, P-Funk philosophy on listening to the teachings. It says you have three aspects of initiatic lifestyle: listening, reflecting, and meditation. I've been giving you that. I'm going to still drive it home because that's what it's all about. And after this lesson, I'm going to take you over to service to the teacher and to the temple. This is a little diagram to show you what you can do if you want to join the Simmer Institute in Florida. Okay, but I'll give you a little breakdown there. But then I'm going to get over here to what I call choosing a spiritual path. That ought to be interesting. All right, let's rock. Listening to the teachings. The phrase from the ancient Egyptian proverb, it goes, the lips of wisdom are closed except to the ears of the understanding. Give that you may receive. If you want anything in life, understand this, for anything and everything, you have to give in order to receive. God don't do the worst. Nope. You got to show and prove for yourself. That's the concept, okay? Now, let's talk about the lesson. I'm trying to get you to understand the things that you need to do for you that's going to get you through what? This life. I'll give you life lessons. That's the whole goal. All right. So you got two important qualities which aspirants, right thinkers, in a spiritual study group need to develop. Okay, it's two important qualities that you need to try to get together, and that's to develop our what? First of all, a good ear, listening, and being able to articulate and regurgitate or speak back what you heard. I'm a 90% type person, okay? I'm going to maybe digest or lose 10% of the 100% information I get. I'm only going to lose 10%. I can live with that. Some people lose 30, 40%. So 10% ain't bad. That's the 90 group. That's to the A. Everything ain't got to be 100. Okay, I got a daughter. She got a 4 point something GPA. How the hell do you have after 4? That's A's across the board. That's it. No, that's it. Y'all like to play a number game of 4.3. Really? Okay, so moving on. But again, you have to be able to understand, to listen and learn what you're hearing. In order for you to grow in spiritual sensitivity and knowledge, you must first be able to develop and facilitate the ability to listen. Listen, listen. Most people hear, they don't listen. You ask the person, and you talking to them, and you say, okay, what I just said. I hear you. No, I ask you, what I just said. They can't return what you said because they're not listening, they're hearing. So I did a lesson about that too. Listening is an art form also. Okay. Speaking, listening, those are two art forms that you need to have to articulate for yourself. Listening implies that you're concentrating, you're paying attention on what is being listened to. And the one cannot concentrate if one's own ego, there you go, wants to be heard. Your ego is you. So anything that don't go with him, he ain't liking it. Okay. He wanted everything his way. Okay. Ain't but one way. His way. That's ego. And a lot of people grow up and master what egoism. So the ego is the prideful, the lion. I have yet to meet a shy Leo. Meaning I'm Leo. Like that's something. Yeah, if you're a Leo, I'm Capricorn. Okay, yeah, I do. Yeah, I raised up too. So it ain't a big deal. Respect, if you give it, this is the purpose. If you want to be respected, you have to give it first. Understand that. And I'm always going to give. Why? God bless the cheerful giver. I give with a smile. It's when I start taking that I won't be laughing. Okay, but this is all, ego is all about prideful, self-importance, self-indulgence. These kind of people always know what best and is not patient to hear even what the ignorant may have to say to them, or even the intelligent. They don't care. Okay, that's the difference. So if you want to be understood, then you must strive to what? Understand others. I'm big on respect. Everybody wants to be respected, but nobody wants to give it. Therein lies the problem. Where I come from, you ain't getting it if you ain't giving it. Projects, prison, they're all the same. If you want it, you better be trying to give it. Because if you ain't getting it. That's a way of life. Again, I know those two survival modes, and that's how I look at it. I'm survival mode, so I'd rather give to see if I can receive before I can receive and then decide to give. Don't work that way. That's how God operates, and everybody else same way. So if you want to receive compassion, respect, understanding, you have to be willing to extend it to others. Don't expect it from them. No, that ain't your job. No. You show what it is you want to be receiving by giving it. That's how you're going to receive it. And if they don't reciprocate, that's fine. That's on them. But you did your job. If you extend the olive branch and they don't take it, then don't concern yourself with that. Don't concern yourself with what they do or don't do. You just do what's right for you. And if you want harmony, peace, you give harmony and peace. These are things that we try to show how you acquiesce to a situation by what? Being the one who giving. If you want to receive, you should be giving. Whatever it is that you want to see, eradicate it from what the world start with you. Violence, hatred, greed, animosity, jealousy, all that stuff, okay, etc. But damn the world, eradicate it from yourself first. Start with you. Like man in the mirror. Love that. That's the one thing I 100%. Start with you. All that what the world should be doing, no. Start with you. And you will not discover it has left the world as well. This place here, not good. That's why it's transit. No, this couldn't stay here forever. Well, then again, the devils, they love this. This is their domain. Okay, those egotistical people, they love this. But if you want to be listened to, when you're speaking, you want people to listen to you, that means you have to first listen to others. No matter how ignorant, ridiculous, how whatever, you have to give in order for to receive it. So listening is a special talent, a special art, which leads one to as well, that leads to understanding of whatever's being said. You need to be able to hear it and listen. In this way, listening is the first step to the practice of yoga of wisdom. If you want to acquire knowledge, you have to be an attentive listener. You're not the one talking. I hate being around ignorant people. I'm a teacher. I'm around ignorant people. I'm never talking. Can't get a word in. Don't make a difference. They ain't listening anyway. So I don't try to force my way into a conversation so I can no. Just acquiesce to the situation. When you learn to acquiesce, that means go with the flow, so to speak. I learned that word when I was 9 years old back in PAL, Part 1 of football league. My man Andrew Clark was our coach. And we was from the hood. We was a little rough around the edges. But he taught us the word to acquiesce. Wherever we went, whatever we did, we acquiesced. We conducted ourselves in a manner in which was respectful. And that was hard back in the day when you got a bunch of ghetto-ass kids. For the first time, half of them, man, they don't know how to act. So we was taught, and I learned that lesson at 9 years old. I still teach it and preach it. I live by it. Why? You have to learn to adjust to situations in life. That's how you get through life, okay? We didn't understand that, but he taught us that one. Okay, where we at? Oh, no, where I left the place. Okay, I'm here. If you want, okay, yeah, excuse me. But if you want, this is the way, first step to yoga of wisdom. If you're going to obtain knowledge, you have to be a good listener. And that means listening to the teachings involve attending classes. I hold class every day. Sometimes a few times a day, for those who know. But I'm here every day. So whatever you didn't get yesterday, I'm here every day. So you can just keep up. That's on you. But I'm here doing this every day. So this is my classroom. Attend the classes, get the lessons wherein wisdom is being taught. Philosophy is being imparted. That's what I do for you daily. And the temple, which is you, would include classes on mythology, meditation, wisdom of life based on our ancient Egyptian scriptures. I'm giving you all ancient Egyptian philosophical concepts. Ain't nothing new about this. The new part is my spin on it. Why I call it right thinking? Why? Because it's about my life. I use me as the focal point to teach you lessons about life. Real life lessons from my life. See? So, and also, the classes will be given by an advanced student or a teacher in the areas of what? Life skills. And being able to teach you how to cope with lifestyle changing, which will promote spiritual evolution of the individual, which is you. Never mind what he, she, or they doing, you should be focusing on getting it for yourself. It is important to understand that while the presence of a spiritual preceptor or sage is the best form of spiritual instruction, you can read in that, but you're going to need somebody to instruct you. You're going to need somebody who knows. You're going to need a sage. In other words, this means of acquiring the teachings should not be overlooked. Modern technology has allowed many forms of media to be employed for the purpose of what? Spiritual education. I see it everywhere. Yeah, we're in the information age. They bombard you with information. My thing is quality and correct information is what's going to teach you. You're not going to learn nothing from a bunch of nonsense. Moving on, just putting it out there. In ancient times, again, remember, I'm teaching you old stuff. This ain't nothing new. I don't do new. Ancient times where you had to read the book. You had to acquire the book, sit down and read. Today, now it's possible you can use audio recordings, videotaping what I'm doing now. And this is an improvement. Why? Because the infections, the emphasis, and other particulars can now be imparted as what? The teachings is being given. I can give my lessons every day and walk you through the process. So therefore, a spiritual aspirant, right thinker, you should listen to the teachings daily and sometimes over and over again, and to gain more what? Sensitivity, meaning knowledge and understanding. And now you have the power to listen, and you will be able to improve the same teachings while will reveal what? More and more wisdom to you. The more you hear it and understand it, sometimes you got to hear it 2 or 3 times. I understand that too. Okay. So there are three modes of teaching, again, which with a spiritual preceptor uses me. The first one, the higher energy center, the first is teaching of the actions. A preceptor, a saint, a sage, a preceptor is one who shows you how to act. For example, next, a teacher uses his speech. When the higher energy centers are unfolded in the sage, the faculty of speech blossoms. The more intellect, the more wise you are, the more questions they ask you, the more you can spontaneously teach a lesson. I use the book to teach a process, but I can answer the questions freely on my own. I don't need a book to address questions that you ask me about what it is I'm teaching. Okay? But this means the power to use what? Words that's unobstructed in speaking in order for you to make the teachings understood. Synopsis, they call it, breaking it down, simplifying. I look at teaching as an improper fraction. Break it down so you simplify it. They find something common, the denominator of understanding. You get them on that level, then you can teach them. That's the idea. So the third method of teaching is used by the sage, is what we call the subtle spiritual influence. You show. I'm here to show what it looks like. So now there is a subtle spiritual influence which can only occur between the disciple and the aspirant, and between the aspirant, and the spiritual preceptor, aka the sage. But if the aspirant will allow him or herself to come under the direction of the sage by listening, paying attention, and trusting that what they're saying is what it is, and you can manifest it by practicing it yourself after hearing it, listening. But this process only occurs when what? When a spiritual aspirant is trying to purify him or herself by what? Cleansing themselves of negative thoughts and negative thinking, aka wrong thinking, wrong feelings, and from the heart. And when they will allow themselves to fully develop in faith in their teacher, the sage, and be able to now, because of their trust and faith in the teacher, they will now learn to eradicate what? The ignorance about their own understanding, and be able to be what? Taught the right way. So therefore, show devotion and service to what? Your teacher, and to the teachings that he's imparting in you. That's important. He's doing a job. He's doing it for you. Your job is to take it and use it. That's what it's given to you for. That's the lesson. I'm over here right quick. This is going to be a short one, but we're going to talk about service to the teacher or the temple where you go get your lessons at. Here, just tune in. You got to do a whole bunch of stuff. I don't hold you accountable to nothing but showing up and taking the lessons and using them. So right quick, in the yogic tradition, remember philosophy, the yoga concept, and it's spanning thousands of years. The highest form of service is what? Service to the mission of a spiritual preceptor, aka a sage, a saint, a guru. That's the highest level, because the task of bringing enlightenment to others, aka the world, is what they consider the greatest form of what they call selfless service and charity, because it alleviates, and ultimately eradicate the ignorance of oneself and leads you to the source of all the pain and sorrow, which is the ego self, lower self, not only of this life, but of those to come in the future. Your desires have to be curbed. Your ego have to be conquered. And so therefore, a spiritual preceptor, sage, is seen as one of the most compassionate beings on earth. They call them empaths. Why? We take on, I understand the concept. Okay, but thus now the act of following in the footsteps, the lessons of an authentic spiritual personality. That's my pastor, biblically. I trust him because he practiced what he preaches. That's why. And me as a teacher of a philosophy, it only gonna work if it's authentic. If I'm not practicing it, I shouldn't be teaching it. So I'm big on that. So the authenticity of the personality of the teacher should be checked and see if they're sincere about what they're doing. Okay? But this is the ability for you to acquire so you can have your own what? Righteous actions, learn your own words, and perform your own deeds as seen as what? Your most loable form of the spiritual practice of right thinking philosophy, which you as the aspirant can practice and master for yourself. His or herself. It ain't a male or female thing. The aspirant, you can help the message to get out by now what? Those who watch me promote my teaching. Yo, brother, right? Check him out. My man right there, check him out. Yeah, promote that. And by demonstrating to them and to others through what? Programs. People ask me to come talk, speak at certain places. Yeah, my church want me to teach. Okay, those are things that I aspire to do. And when you teaching a philosophy that I have to others and helping to produce, they want me, everybody, write a book, write a book. I'm not a book type of dude. I'm a teacher. I use books to teach. Y'all don't read books. I do. I do. But again, you can produce books by the preceptor. And that's what you do. Take your knowledge and put it down. I'm getting it from them. I ain't got to do that. It's going to be just piling on. The dead horse. I'm not beating the dead horse. All the knowledge that I acquired, I got from the books. All the enough that I have on my own acquired, I use my platform to do just that. I'm not spending my time trying to put together a book about my life. I am not doing that. Moving on, excuse me. I ain't beat. My ego don't say, man, let everybody know how you live. Damn them. I don't get support from family and friends now. The hell with them. Moving on. Sorry, I'm just personally, I get an attitude. But again, when you helping others to be better themselves, that's the task of a spiritual preceptor, aka sage. Now, you got a bunch of stuff here that they can tell you to do and service the temple. Don't care. That's not important. I call it fluff. And also got some stuff here that can tell you about the daily practice, physical exercise 1 hour, meditation 15 to half hour, study the philosophy. These are all things that you live. You got to practice these on your own. Study the philosophy for an hour and a half daily. Homework. Follow along with the ongoing weekly class recordings, daily lessons I'm here to give you. So for self-reflective in your spiritual journal, some people like to write it down and good stuff, have group study discussions. Answering the following questions among yourselves will allow everyone to have a say. So people sometimes be in a group, never speak. Why are you there? You should participate. That's what the group for. And it tells you here another lesson about beginning your study course. First book, I ain't got time for that tape. What books to read? I got all the books. Yeah, I did that already. Questioning the tapes, did that already too. What is the message you got from these days' lectures? Okay, these is question and answer. And every book, every chapter, he have a few questions that you ask you. What did you learn? And all those things. All right, get past that. Why? People don't like to be tested. So I'm gonna do that to you, okay? So understand that. That's why. But and how has it been? The lessons have you learned it? I can tell by the comments who's getting it and who's not getting it. So I pay attention to what's going on too. My numbers is going that way for some reason, but I'm just grinding, keep doing what I do. So if you're a student, understand these things. You want to learn those, that's on you. Now let's get to this going to be it. Yeah, this might have to be a separate lesson. Yeah. I'm gonna make this separate lesson. Choosing the spiritual path. I'm gonna break that down for you. You got the religious path, you got the yogic path, and you got the integral yogic path. So you got 3 different ways to get to God. Again, the pyramid got 8 sides. That means 8 ways to get there. We got 8, 9 billion people in the world. It's 8, 9 billion ways to get to God. It's all a philosophical concept, and we all have the same option. In closing, sorry, right thinkers, man, we all there to be 100, me 100 miles a day. So I never know my right thinkers now who listen to the teachings and understand it and the service to the teaching the temple have passed away. I'll be right back.